Episode 9. Shalom, this is Rabbi Eliyahu Mitrov with this week's Talmud podcast. This week we're going to be discussing the second Tosafoes in Perek Shlishli Hamafkid of Bava Metzia. As we said before, the Mishnah said, Hamafkid etz chavero behem or kelim, if somebody left over by his friend an animal or objects, v'nignavu or shavdu, and they were stolen or they were lost. So the din is that if shilem v'lo etz nishpa, if he pays it and he doesn't want to take the shivua, so in the future if they catch the thief, he will get the kefel. The Tosafoes says like this, Nignavu v'hu adin im amr pashati. And it's also true that if he were to say, I was negligent, he would still get the kefel. Like it says, Kedarmina b'Gemara, Migo. He has a valid proof. The boy pater nafshe b'Geneva. And if he wanted to, he could pater himself with Geneva. So since he can pater himself and he will not have to pay if he takes a shavua, if he said Geneva, the owner will give him kefil since the owner wants to get his money. And he's quoting Rav Papa from Lamed Daled Amud Aleph. It says like this, Amar Rav Papa, Shomer Chinam, a guardian who guards for free. Kevin Shamra Pashate, since he says, I was negligent, Makti le kefela, we give him the kefel. Why? The boy pater nafshei b'Geneva. Because if he wanted to, he could just get out free. So if he's going to pay, surely we'll give him the kefel. Now, the Meforshim explained at this point there is an unstated difficulty in Tosafoes. What's the unstated difficulty? If it's true that when he pays, he will receive the kefel, regardless of whether he's negligent or not, so why did the Mishnah say so? The Mishnah says that he tied it was stolen or it was lost. Simply speaking, that means he was not negligent. When a person said it was stolen or lost, it means he did his job and it was circumstances that caused the loss. So if it's true that even if he was negligent, that he would get the kefel, it should state it. And therefore, Tosafoes wants to come to answer. Eila, orchei de milsa nakat nignavu. It taught nignavu because this is the normal way of the world. Shu ragilis letoin davar, that's what he's going to claim. Afal pi, even though shu rotzi l'shalem. In other words, even though he's going to pay, and he could say clearly, listen, I was negligent, I'm going to pay, here's your money. Still, it's the way of the world for people to claim that they were not negligent. He'll say, listen, what's the difference? I'm going to pay the guy. I'll tell him that it was stolen. I don't admit that I was negligent. It's not nice. And since I'm going to pay him anyway, he's going to get his money back. I don't have to tell him. And that's the way of the world. So therefore, Tosafoes explains that the reason why it did not teach Poshia negligence in the Mishnah is because it's not the way of the world. Even when a person is negligent, he will still claim the taina that it was stolen or that it was lost. That's Tosafoes' first answer. His second answer is, according to the Rivan, a Rivan parish the Masnisa Nami Hakaparusha. This could be simple Peshat in the Mishnah. When it says that it was stolen in the Mishnah, he means it was stolen because I was negligent. And what does it mean? That he doesn't want to take a shavua? I don't want to take an oath that's a lie. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I did a good job. I wasn't negligent and I didn't touch it. I'm not going to make those shavuas. You know why? Because it'd be sheker, because I was negligent. That's a dochek peshat in the Mishnah because, like I said before, the simple understanding of stolen or lost means it was stolen or lost. I did my job, and this is what happened. But since there's a problem now, like Rav Papa said, that even in negligence, he will be able to receive the kefel, so the Mishnah should have taught the bigger chiddush. Therefore, the Rivan will doche. He'll push the original peshat of stolen or lost to mean even with negligence. Comes along the Maharam and he wants to explain that this Tosafoes is a hemshech, a continuation of the Tosafoes before. The first Tosafoes asked, why is it ketuv avdu b'Mishnah? Why is it written in the Mishnah lost? Lost doesn't have kefel. So the first answer that Tosafoes gave was that that's what he claimed. He claimed it was stolen or he claimed it was lost. In the end of the day, even when he claimed it was lost, it was stolen, so there is kefel. That was the first answer to the Tosafoes. So the Maharam wants to say that this is going according to that. Why? He says like this, Lefum rehita, according to the first look, mashma shedubar ze nimshech achrei parashat Tosafoes. This Tosafos is going after the first Tosafoes. Shemedubar shelivnei ze shekatuv yesh li yeshev shekak toen. And that was what he was claiming. Also here. And therefore we have a problem. Why? Since we wanted to give the parish in the Mishnah that was his claim, that wasn't actually the cases of stolen or lost, that was his claim that it was stolen or lost. Listen to Ravusa. If the first Tosafoes is forced to explain that the Mishnah are not really cases of lost or stolen, they're his tainas or his claims, so make a bigger chiddush. Let him claim, I was posheya, and that's what happened. But since I'm going to pay, I will get the kefel. That's a bigger chiddush. Why didn't we teach like that? So comes along the second Tosafoes and says, Einochinami. It's true, it's a bigger chiddush, but it's not the way of the world. Because since the guy's going to pay, he's always going to claim that it was stolen. He doesn't want to mention his own negligence, and he's going to pay. So it's fair and square. He's going to pay. I don't have to tell you that I was negligent. And that's the way of the world. So it appears that this Tosafoes is answering for the first answer of Tosafoes. But the Maharal continues, and he says, wait a second. We can also say it's going according to the second answer of Tosafoes. The second answer of Tosafoes was, what's Avdu doing in the Mishnah? The answer is that Avdu is also a case of lost. How did it work? When it said it was stolen, but we don't know if he was negligent or not negligent. And when we said it was lost, we don't know if it was stolen or if it was lost in another way. So he makes the cases klali, general, and there's particulars that we don't know about. So the Maharal explains that if that's true, that in the case where it was stolen, we claim that if we don't know it was negligent or not, why would we possibly say that? Even if it was negligent, he would still receive the kefir. He says like this, V'yesh liyeshev gam kemafilu lefi hasheni, the second understanding of Tosafoes. Ani yadim shenignevu, we know it was stolen. Ak eno yadim im pashab, we don't know if it was negligent or not. Rodse lomar, this is the unstated difficulty. Lama nakata tana be'inyin she'en ani yadim shapasha. Why do we teach the case where we don't know if he was pesheya or not? Listen to Ravusa teach a bigger chiddush. Even heiche the ana yadin, even when we know shapasha, kigon shahoda, he admits it. V'om pashati, and he says pashati, yes, I was negligent. Afilu hachi have a kefa shalo. The chiddush will be that the kefa shalo, that the fine will go to him, even when he was negligent. So teach that, it's a bigger chiddush. Comes along the second Tosafoes to answer, no, it's not the way of the world to admit that he's negligent. So in summary, the Maharam comes out like this. If negligence receives kefel, so why didn't we say it? So according to the first answer, the unstated difficulty is, why didn't we teach the bigger chiddush where he claimed he was negligent? Why we say he claimed it was stolen or lost, claimed that it was negligent? The answer is because it's not the way for a guy to admit his own guilt. And according to the second answer, if negligence receives kefil, so then the unstated difficulty is, why didn't we teach the bigger chiddush where he admitted that he was negligent? Not because he claimed he was negligent. No, we know that it was stolen. We know that it was lost, but he could have admitted that it was negligent. Why didn't we say that chiddush? The answer is, it's not the way of the world that a man admits that he's negligent, especially when he's going to pay. So in conclusion, according to the Maharam, this second Tosafoes is answering the difficulty of why didn't we say he was negligent, whether according to the first answer of Tosafoes in the first Tosafoes or the second answer of Tosafoes in the first Tosafoes. That's the Maharam. I saw a difficulty according to the Rivan who answered, why didn't we teach negligence? He answered, yes, we did teach negligence. That's what it means. It was stolen because he was negligent. What does it mean he doesn't want to take a shavua? He doesn't want to take a shavua of Shekir. So according to that Pashad, if that's the Mishnah, how can it be that on Lamed Dao and Amud Beis, which says in the name of Rav Papa, Rav Papa, Shomer Chinam Kivin Sha'amar Pashati, Makti Le'et Kefel, Di Boy Pater Navshei B'Geneva. How can it be? It's not Rav Papa, it's a Meforsh Mishnah. So they want to learn, no, Rav Papa is explaining the Mishnah. Exactly the same way that the Rivan explained the Mishnah, so too Rav Papa can learn from the Mishnah, the case of negligence. Comes along the Rebbe Kiva Eger and he wants to answer Tosafos' kasha himself. Again, the difficulty was, if it's true that if a guy admits that he was negligent, that he gets the kefel, why didn't the Mishnah speak about it? He wants to answer because according to Abaye and Rava, the Mishnah wanted to teach us a third case. What about the case where he takes a shavua and then he pays? He does both. What happens in that case? So we know the Gemara in Baba Kama Kufchet wants to learn out from our Mishnah this din of the third case, and it's a maklokas, Abaye and Rava. Abaye wants to make a diuk, an inference from the Reisha, that since it says that if he pays and he doesn't take a shavua, so then he will get the kefel. Mashma, that if he pays and he does take a shavua even afterwards, but he schleps the guy to Beis Din, he will not get the kefel. And Rava wants to learn from the Sefer. It says in the Sefer, he takes a shavua and he doesn't want to pay. But what happens in the case where he takes a shavua and he doesn't want to stand on the shavua? He does want to pay. He will get the kefil. The Rebbe Akiva Eger wants to explain that according to both of them and according to Rashi, the payment was lifnei mishur zadin, and that's how they learned. In other words, they paid without having to pay, which means they weren't negligent. So he's learning that in order for Abaye and Rava to learn the din where he both paid and take a shavua, we have to learn the Gemara up that it's not a case of negligence. And therefore, Rebbe Akiva Eger answers Tosafoes' kasha. Of course, the Mishnah did not include the case of negligence, because we need to learn the third case like they do in Baba Kama on Daf Kuf Chet. In the fourth class, we're going to explain that Gemara much more in depth. Okay, that's it for this week's Talmud podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share it with your friends and look below this video for links to more material to help you to learn this Tosafoes.